Hello and Assalamualaikum. I am N4BA2502 and today me and my friends from BA250 will present to you our group project titled Fundamental Financial Accounting and Reporting of Partnership. Our group consists of me, Anastasia Isabella, Wan Harith, and Dini Aida. I will start off the slides presenting to you on the introduction and a little bit briefing on the business background and characteristics of the partnership. Then I will cover partial of classification of business items, which is assets. Then Harith will take over the presentation covering the classifications of business, which he will brief on topic of capital, liabilities, revenue, and expenses. Lastly, Dini Aida will end the presentation covering on the business operations and how its financial transaction is recorded. She will then explain about the pros and cons of her main topic. Today, we will be covering fundamental financial accounting and reporting of a partnership named Al-Anas Global Resources. The partnership business is registered under Suruhanjaya Syarikat Malaysia, or also known as SSM, with the number of 00294267 The nature of the business is being a franchisee of a well-known convenience store chain in Malaysia, which is known as 7-Eleven. The partnership invests an initial capital, franchise fee, and ongoing royalties to the franchisor, which is in this case will be 7-Eleven Malaysia Sendirian Berhad. In return, they gain the use of a trademark, leveraging of the franchisor system to run the business, and ongoing support by the franchisor. 7-Eleven store is a 24 hours convenience store that carries a limited selection of basic items such as packaged foods and drugstore items, and it is open for long hours for the convenience of shoppers. As of 2022, the business has one main convenience store. The business is classified under the partnership business as it was founded by Encik Osman bin Abdul Manan and his wife Puan Suzana binti Shamsuddin. Al-Anas Global Resources was founded and has been operating since the year 2018. The store is located at 7-Eleven Putra Prima Puchong No. 7, ground floor, Jalan PP 2/5, Taman Putra Prima 4700, Puchong, Selangor. This is a strategic location as they targeted residential areas, as it fits the franchisor motto, which are always there for you, as they will be there for consumer at all times when they need any supplies, even at the oddest time of the day. I will brief a little bit on the business activity of the 7-Eleven store carried by Al-Anas Global Resources. The store carries over 2,200 products, including their proprietary brands such as Slurpee frozen beverages and Big Gulps fountain soft drinks. The variety of services available at 7-Eleven include the bill payment service, sale of mobile phone reloads cards, IDD or STD, touch and go reload, internet games starter packs, reloads via MOL points, top up, in cartridge refill, photocopying, fax, automated television, or also known as ATM, and bulletin board for neighborhood community notices. As per partnership agreement between Encik Osman and Puan Suzana was started when both owners contributed into the capital at the ratio of 9:1. The business was started with an amount of 250,000 ringgit, which are 225,000 from Encik Osman and 25,000 from Puan Suzana. Both finance injection came from owner's saving. The business starts its journey when the owner purchased a 7-Eleven franchise from 7-Eleven Malaysia Sendirian Berhad at the price of 250,000 ringgit. The size of company consists of 8 people, with 2 acting as the owners, 1 store manager, 1 assistant manager, and 4 store crews. With that, we have covered all the details on background and characteristics of Al-Anas Global Resources. Now let's move on to the next topic, which are the classification of the business items which fall under categories of assets, liabilities, capital, revenues, and expenses. I will explain on the category of assets, and Wan Harith will take over the rest of the topics. Assets are properties owned by business. Assets fall into 2 categories, which are non-current assets and current assets. Non-current assets are bought not for resale, but to be used in the operations of the business with useful lives more than 1 year. Non-current assets owned by Al Global Resources at this moment are one retail store located in Puchong, office equipment including printer, desktop, zebra, multi-purpose barcode scanner, cash register, cards payment terminal, touch and go terminal, and stationaries. And in the store itself, they also have machinery such as Slurpee machine, ice cream freezer, coffee machine, and drinks chiller. Furniture in the store that they have are storage racks for displaying products. And lastly, they also have refundable deposits of 150,000 ringgit from 7-Eleven Malaysia Sdn Berhad, which can be reimbursed 10 years later when the contracts end. Current assets are assets that either cash or can be converted into cash within 1 year. These assets is constantly changing their form during an accounting period. As for Al-Anas Global, they do not hold any cash at bank as all the sales revenue is banked into franchisor account. At times, they will have cash at hand around 7 to 12,000 ringgit daily, which will then transfer into franchisor's account. Besides, Al-Anas Global Resources' current assets also includes the inventory available at their convenience stores, which are pet food, canned and bottled drinks, and basic domestic supplies. That is all from me today. Let's continue our presentation with Wan Harith.
I would like to present on the capital, ownership, liabilities, revenue, management and control, and lastly for the expenses for this business, which is Al-Anas Global Resources. For the first one is capital. The capital is contributed by each partner, which the ratio is 9/1. And the business was started with an amount of RM250,000, RM225,000 from Osman, and RM25,000 from Susanna. Which means both finance injection came from owner savings, and business also start its journey when the owner purchased a 7-Eleven franchise from Berjaya Holdings at the price of RM250,000 ringgit. And the second one is the ownership. The ownership is a partnership form of two persons, which is Osman bin Abdul Mana and Susanna bin Shamsuddin, for per party according to the partnership agreement, which is more beneficial and maximizing profit over another form against the provide risk reduction. This is one of the main strength of this form of organization, that you are not on your own, because it can also be quite flexible, and if you want to share the responsibilities and powers equally with more owners, your personal liability in the business also reduce. The volume of resources available to you could also be higher for the obvious reason, while you don't have to worry about the double taxation either. And the next point is the liabilities. For Al-Anas Global Resources, they currently doesn't have any liabilities, as the business was started with owner saving, and currently the running event does not involve financial movement from the business entity. The liabilities are formed with to both is non-current liabilities and current liabilities. For both these liabilities, for non-current liabilities is nil, which means they doesn't have the non-current liabilities, and the next one is current liabilities. It's also nil, because the liabilities as all the inventory are managed by the franchisor. And we move to the next one is revenue. The revenue for this business, Al-Anas Global Resources, the profit or loss is shared by partners in the profit sharing ratio of 9:1. And while the operating revenues for the daily average estimate revenue is about RM4,500 ringgit. And for the next one is for non-operating revenue, which is nil. And the next one is management and control. The management and control for this business is handled and controlled by both owners, which is Susanna and Osman, both parties under the principal guideline provided by the franchisor. both partners is entitled to take part in the management of the firm's business. However, a partnership agreement may provide that ordinary partners shall not participate in management at all, in which case they are dormant partners but are still personally liable for the debts and obligations incurred by the other managing partners. And we're moving to the last one. Last point is expenses. For all Anas Global Resources, the expenses is spread with which is water and electricity, salary and wages, social and EPF, stationery, internet bills, phone bills, repair and maintenance, and store supplies. And I will explain more details for the price for the expenses for all Anas Global Resources, which is water and electricity, RM 3,000. Salary and wages is RM 10,000, and they also contribute in also an EPF, and the stationery is around RM 50 ringgit, and the internet bills is RM 100, phone bills RM 100 also, and their repair and maintenance is RM 800, which is a service provided by a franchisor, and the store supplies is RM 50 ringgit. That's all from me. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.
The next part is the recording process of the business. Accurate bookkeeping is necessary for keeping track of companies they do to their pending. One of the biggest keys to company success to accounting record to make decisions about the company future direction. Firstly, source document. The source document is the original record continue data sustain and transaction and that in the accounting system. For all Anas Global Resources, using different types depending on the type of transaction. Example of the source document are bank statement, purchase orders, invoice, bills, receipt, debit note, credit note, payment voucher, and petty cash. Next, book of prime entry of journal. A journal is a detailed account that records all financial transactions of a business to be used for future. The journal is just like a diary where every information, such as date, details, and amount regarding transaction is recorded. The type of journal: cash payment journal, written outward journal, and written inward journal. All Anas Global Resources practices recording the event occurs in appropriate journal because they appointed an accountant. All Anas Global Resources also record their business appropriate journal to keep track of their business expenses, includes payroll, equipment, and item purchase. Furthermore, ledger we know as a book or digital record that store bookkeeping entries. The ledger shows the account openings balance, all debits and credit to the account for the period, and the endings balance. Company can maintain ledgers for all types of balance sheet and income statement account, including account receivable, account payable, sales, and payroll. Transactions from subsiding ledgers are periodically summarized and transferred to the general ledger, which contains transaction data for all accounts in the chart of account. All Anas Global Resources record the transaction into the journals. The total will be posted to the appropriate account in the ledgers. This process is known as posting. There are three types of ledgers: are the purchase ledgers, sales ledgers, and general ledgers. Mr. Osman, owner for All Anas Global Resources, assisted by his accountant, record the business transaction in a proper ledger. Otherwise, a trial balance is a report that lists the balance of all general ledger accounts of a company at a certain point in time. The account reflected on a trial balance are related to all major accounting items, including assets, liability, equity, revenues, expenses, gain loss. It is primarily used to identify the balance of debits and credits entry. from the transaction recorded in the general ledger at a certain point in time. Al-Anas Global Resources use a trial balance is a report that lists the balance of the ledgers. Al-Anas Global Resources used to identify the balance of detail and on debits and credits entries from the transaction record. Next, adjusted entries, also known as end-of-period adjustment, are journal entries that are made at the end of an accounting period to adjust the account to accurately reflect the revenues and expenses of the current period. The preparation of adjusting entries is the fifth step of accounting cycle and comes after preparation of unadjusted trial balance. Al-Anas Global Resources use adjusting entries to involve an income statement account, revenue or expenses, along with a balance sheet account, asset or liability. Al-Anas Global Resources follow the accrual principle of accounting and make necessary adjustments that are not recorded during the previous accounting year. Al-Anas Global Resources do adjusting journal takes place on the last day of the accounting year. Moreover, adjusted trial balance of the company in the non-financial statement, the list and the balance of the company account are presented after the adjusting journal entries are made at the year end. Those balances are then reported on respective financial statements. Al-Anas Global Resources use accrual of earned revenue but not yet recorded. It arises when asset is a sale but customer has not yet billed for the same. Then, accrual of expenses incurred but not yet recorded. It is an expenses recorded in account before the payment is made, like salaries, wages payable. Also, company do prepayment. Prepayment is setting of payment before its due date, like prepaid rent. Lastly, for recording process of the business is a financial statement. Financial statements are written record that convey the business activity and the financial performance of a company. Financial statements are often audited by government agency, accountant firm, and others to ensure accuracy and protect financing or investing purpose. For profit, primary financial statements include the balance sheet, income statement, statement of cash flow, and statement of change in equity. Non-profit entities use a similar but different set of financial statements. Al-Anas Global Resources use the balance sheet. Balance sheets show assets, liabilities, and shareholder equity of the company in a particular format. Then, also inside current asset and non-current asset is a financial statement. Also, Al-Anas Global Resources company put current liabilities and non-current liabilities. Then, shareholder equity. Shareholder equity include the initial amount invested by Puan Suzana and Encik Osman as partnership in Berjaya Holdings Company. Last, income statement and statement of cash flow also put at the financial statement. Next, adjusted entries. Last but not least, for fundamental financial accounting reporting is the strength and the weakness of the processing business. The strength is filing the source document. Al-Anas Global Resources keep all the transactions such as bank statement, purchase orders, invoice, receipt and payment, and voucher in the file. This is easier for company to find the document. Next, have more time. Al-Anas Global Resources will have more time to do journal and ledger. They hire staff to do the journal and ledger. Then, can create an outline budget. The financial statement is to prepare the blueprint future. Budget have to keep in line income. Last, can minimize accounting error, and it is easy to find out such error. For the weakness, It takes a long time. This process takes a long time to do. It has a wrong work and need to ensure the process is true. Then, risk of losing the transaction. When wrong when to do journal or ledger, so we take not accurate statement. Next, based on historical cost, if the historical cost is not good position, it will be problem in future statement. Last, it does not prove the ledger is correct. It will be misleading or wrong calculate. If all honest governors also do the ledger, it doesn't mean the ledger is accurate. That's only for the strength and weakness of the processing business. Thank you.